Alright guys, what's up? I'm going to start doing tutorials so I can be a little bit more active. I haven't been putting out a lot of content and I'm sorry for that, but stay subscribed and I'm going to give you some really cool tutorials that people have actually been asking me for, like tutorials on my interface and just all sorts of things they've seen in my speed art. Speaking of my speed arts, if you've seen them before, you probably might notice that I'm using a Mac, and I don't usually use a Mac. I usually have a Windows laptop, that's what I use for everything, but I'm using this because the mic's way better on it and I want you guys to actually hear me. Anyways, this isn't much of a tutorial, it's more of a how to start out if you want to maybe start making graphics for YouTube channels or just any form of client. When I started making graphics, I wished that there might have been something like this that I could have watched. It would have guided me, and I'd probably be a lot better now if I was actually practicing what's going to be important in the future instead of things that really don't matter. Uh, I'm going to go over a couple topics, and I'm trying to hurry through this because the last tutorial I made was 15 minutes long, and can't upload past that, and I don't want to ramble on. So, sorry if I'm not doing everything right because I have a Mac, but this is like my second time using Photoshop on a Mac. I'm not even going to do anything in Photoshop besides show you maybe a couple things. But anyways, starting with my first topic, it's programs, and the really important ones are Photoshop might be the most important depending on what you're doing. Motion graphics, I'd say Cinema 4D and After Effects. If you're going to do motion graphics, I'm not very good with motion graphics. I just make a couple intros on the side. But yeah, After Effects, CS5, latest version of Cinema 4D, R13, I believe. And I believe the motion graphics side of Cinema 4D is called Broadcast. I could be wrong, but go look it up because there's different versions of Cinema 4D. Which make sure it's the second one down when you go to products on the Maxim website. Uh, but I'm downloading Cinema 4D right now because this is my dad's Mac. Uh, but anyways, with just still graphics like me, when they're not motion, most important tool, Adobe Photoshop CS5. Do not get Elements, I beg you, because Elements are Photoshop Elements. It's actually not for graphics. Its purpose is home use, nothing professional. I believe just even organization. It's really not as powerful. It's way less useful as CS5 will be to you, and the sooner you using CS5, the quicker you'll get better with it, and the more improvement you'll make. So just drop Elements if you already have it. If you don't, and you're wondering what kind to get, just CS5, any CS series really, and CS4, CS3. You should always just go for the latest version of whatever software or product you're gonna get. Anyways, and CS5 is the latest, so just get that, and you'll be good. Uh, just make sure you're not constricting yourself to what you knew in Elements if you're upgrading or whatever. You know, if you had all these things, but you didn't have anything in like the 3D tab, that's new. So make sure you just look at all the new stuff, and even if it's not new to you, just you've never used it, just explore your software. That way you're not constricted to anything. Okay, moving on from Photoshop, you need Cinema 4D. You don't need it, less of a necessity than Photoshop because you can make whatever you want in Photoshop. You can even make 3D textures. Cinema 4D is way better at it, more accurate, and it's actually made for 3D. So I'd tell you to do Cinema 4D for basically anything 3D, although there are other uses to this, and I might show you them in further tutorials. Cinema 4D is very powerful. You can use it for intros, still graphics as well. The 4D, I'm just going to explain this real quick, and I'm going to explain a couple of things. That way you're not an uneducated designer. You know, you want to know your stuff. The 4D, the fourth dimension, a lot of people ask this. I've been asked it myself, and so it's got the three main dimensions, you know, up, sideways, and the third dimension, which is the z-axis, which is depth. You know, it's what makes us not 2D, I guess. The fourth dimension is time, and I feel like I'm not gonna write this stuff out, but time. The fourth dimension is time, and that's actually true in real life as well as Cinema 4D. And the reason time is in there is because it can animate things. If you go to anything in Cinema 4D, I don't have it right now because I can't show you. But if you go to basically any attribute, even in like materials and the position of things, there will be a little circle next to everything. If you control click it, you can add a keyframe and animate it. Basically everything in Cinema 4D can be animated, and you just need to keep that in mind for any motion graphics or whatever. So yeah, that's the 4D. That's basically it for software, except for Adobe Illustrator. It's really good for logos and just like web design and stuff. I would take a look at that if you're going to be making any logos and putting them into Cinema 4D, because it will get rid of your edges problem. If you've ever exported a logo and you've seen these weird bumpy edges sort of things, Illustrator does not do that. And if you want to fix that in Photoshop and you don't want to get Illustrator, what you have to do is, instead of making a selection and then making a path, just pen tool it yourself. Just re-pen tool it. It makes it less accurate, so I'd still recommend Illustrator, but that is the way to fix it in Photoshop. Okay, I'm almost out of time, so I'm rambling on. I'm sorry. Another thing I want to talk about is when people call it GFX. It's not incorrect. It's a shortened version of the word graphics. Just type this out for you. So graphics and sorry, I'm typing things. I really don't know why I'm doing it, but bear with me. I'm weird sometimes like that. But anyways, graphics and GFX, same thing. But here's the thing. When people say GFX when they're actually talking, that's what bugs me. When they're typing it, it's fine. I don't care. I use it too. But it's the same deal as saying like number. If you were going to say number, you would obviously say that instead of the abbreviation. That's the word. That's an abbreviated form of graphics. The abbreviation for number is no. So if you were actually talking, you wouldn't say no, you'd say number. Same with this. Just thought I'd explain that because it's kind of embarrassing when people don't know the difference. Oh, and here's a quick tip. I always see this with professionals, even when they're resizing something, making it bigger, they will do this, and that can distort it even to the slightest, and you want your designs to be flawless as possible. So doing this is really bad. What you're supposed to do is hold shift. That keeps it in proportion, and it won't distort no matter where you put your no matter where your mouse goes, up here, whatever. It just stays intact. And then yeah, you let go of the mouse as soon as, and then you press shift. Let go of shift, I mean, sorry. So yeah, that's the whole graphics dilemma and everything. I'm pretty sure that's about it. Went over software and a couple of concepts. I can't go on for too long because I'm not partnered and I can't upload past 15 minutes, and you also don't want to listen to me for this long. Let me just check how long I've been recording. 8 minutes already, oh my god. Okay, yeah, so anyways, more tutorials in the future, probably very soon, because I want to put out more content for you guys and grow a little bit. Anyways, if you want more videos like this of me just talking about the graphics community and whatever, I know some other people already do that. I'm not gonna try to cover that up. There's other people that have been doing this, but just if you want me to talk more like this, or you want tutorials or speed arts, just request anything you want, and I'll probably put it out as soon as I can. Alright, guys, this Kicks, and peace.